What's up, crypto junkies? It's Jay, and welcome to another video. We need to talk about Bitcoin. We need to talk about the news. It is, just so you know, let me get the date here. It is Thursday, March 8th, where I am in the world. So just so you know, in case you're coming to the channel watching this, we are live. What we've got that just happened is we saw a massive tanking of Bitcoin over the night. This happened at about 3 a.m. my time. I woke up to actually jump in on an ICO and I watched this happen. We saw a small Binance hack happen. BitMEX was down for a little bit, and I'm going to talk about all of that. So here's what we're dealing with right now. I'm on BTC. This is the 4 hour. We see, like, what is this spread right here? Let me just grab this price range here real quick. What did we see? Wick to wick, we saw a 20% drop in the span of the last, these are 4 hour candles, so you do the math on that. Day. Let's do the 1 day. Zoom out here. Yeah, so this gap right here is what we basically just saw, okay? 18 to 20% drop. That was not natural. A lot of people already on Twitter and Twitter sphere are claiming that there was some sort of orchestrated event. I will say that it was convenient that this bot hack hit Binance. BitMEX went down, and people are having problems logging in, executing trades, and all of a sudden we see some really core coins just take an absolute shit. Okay, so actually we'll come back to that. I got a lot to cover, like I said. So here's the official word from CZ. He's the owner, CEO of Binance, and he came out and said this right after. 7 hours ago, all funds are safe. There were irregularities in trading activity. Automatic alarms triggered. Some accounts may have been compromised by phishing from the before, and they're still investigating. All funds are safe. And he has been updating ever since with what's going on. The word is that there was a bot that was hacked, and the bot used Binance. So the bot was compromised, and then everybody's account, their API, was compromised. So what happened was Viacoin, VIA, had a massive pump. Let's pull that up and take a quick look. And some other alts did as well. It's just that's kind of speculation in terms of what happened. But look at the size of this wick. I don't even know what that is. 10,000 plus percent gain. Hold on. Let me just quit talking and see here. Oh yeah, 12,000% gain. Okay, that wick, those were sell orders that were executing. Okay, those are very real. That's why the wick is there. All right, and then it pulled all the way back down, and this is what it's at right now. So we saw that happen, and so what was happening was this was buying and selling and basically pumping this price up. Now CZ is confirming that everything, to as much as he can, he's saying basically everything's okay. They're going to reverse it. I don't know how all that's going to work out for the people that were affected. I was not personally affected. None of the bots that I use were affected. It has not been released what bot this did happen to just yet, and how many accounts were affected. None of that information has been released just yet, but that's where it's at right now, okay? The next thing that I want to talk about is Coinbase. Coinbase has announced its index. If you look on our channel, what is the thing I've been just beating in your guys' head over the last 2 weeks? Crypto indexes, right? Well, this just further proves the point that it is a very powerful tool to have in your portfolio to use an index. We've got a company that made over $1 billion in 2017 now making their own index fund. They're not just doing that because, hey guys, what do you want to do next? I don't know, let's do an index. Wrong. They're doing it for a reason. Now, there's a couple things that I got to note here with the index fund is, it's being launched out of Coinbase. It's their brainchild essentially, but you do have to be an accredited investor. So if we look at, this is the actual site, am.coinbase.com. It's their new asset management section. This page has actually changed since 2 days ago when I first got this news, but it looks like you have to have a minimum of at least $10,000 and you have to be an accredited investor. What the hell does that mean? Well, what it means is under the federal security laws, a company or private fund may not offer or sell securities unless the transaction has been registered with the SEC or an exemption from regulation is available. So you basically have to go through this process of becoming accredited. Earned income that exceeds over $200,000 in each of the prior 2 years, reasonably expects the same for the current year, or has a net worth of over $1 million either alone or together with a spouse. This is your set of basically rules for becoming an accredited investor. In a nutshell, what it means is that if you're not quote unquote wealthy, no dice. You don't become an accredited investor. Okay, so the Coinbase index is out for, once again, 99.9% of people. What are your options? This is where I can't plug HasBot enough. Has Online trading bot software that you download and run on your own virtual private server has just released their index bot in this last week. Right now, they're working on a huge update to it as well to make it better. And you can run that bot all day, all night. You can make it based off any parameters you want. Now, what's interesting, I wish I would have saved it. Do they still have it? Yeah, they do. Okay. So look, they give you their current allocation. 61% Bitcoin, 27% Ethereum. Look at this. You could copy this and run this in your own index bot using HasBot. You could also copy the CCI 30, cci30.com. We've talked about this in several other videos, so I'm not going to pull it up right now, but you could run that, which is a top 30 bot that was created by a bunch of really smart people. Okay, engineers, mathematicians, and the actual percentages and allocation we gave you. We gave you a formula, a Google spreadsheet formula, and the actual copy paste code to import the bot itself into your own HasBot and just set it up and run it. Okay, so those are options for you. I just wanted to show you this because it proves that there's more and more action happening on the index side of crypto. And it should not be ignored, okay? So all these links will be underneath the video for you to check that out. Now let's talk about some slightly bad news, okay? Is the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission made a public post, essentially, and what they're talking about and what it looks like they're going to go after next. You guessed it, exchanges. And it's because these exchanges are allowing you to trade what they consider securities, very simply put. What does this mean? I don't know, but this actually started to go viral and hit the crypto Twitter sphere last night around the same time that this hack happened, and that that's the same time that BTC we saw took an epic shit. So, I don't like to footprint too deeply and like what's the cause, but we do have events, and you can't deny it. We do have events that happen news-wise that affect any TA in the crypto space, and it is because of the amount of manipulation happening. Well, actually, let me reverse that. It's not the amount of manipulation. It is that the market itself is mostly filled with people who don't know anything about crypto and the underlying technology. So it is a 99% speculation market. So when they hear this, when they read this right here, and they see it hit their Twitter for the first time, they freak the fuck out and they sell. That's usually what happens. And whales are waiting, and they take advantage of this. Absolutely take advantage of this. They manipulate the order books. They play around with ghosted orders on platforms like Bitfinex. And what do you know? People lose a bunch of money and the whales win. Okay. That you can expect to happen in any market. But in this market, boy, I'll tell you what, they're really going to the bank on this one, because they really are capitalizing big on and leveraging these news segments. And that trumps your TA. That absolutely does in those situations. You can check this out and read more for yourself. Again, I don't know what this means. They're not saying what it means, but news, rumor, sell, buy, you know how it is. Now I want to talk about a couple little turds, little nuggets here at the end. there's a few lending platforms that I'm still in, that the community is still in. So I got to give you guys an update on this. Pagarex is one that everybody, I think, is just desperately trying to get out of. Basically, what happened is they said that their developers weren't good enough to plug and play the code in a box, so to say, for the internal exchange. So, hey, they're going to get it listed on in an external exchange. That all looks good. The exchanges that they're going to get listed on are garbage. I don't even know what the hell they are. And so they're working on that. But what do you know? It turns out they're already listed on an exchange, coinhouse.eu. We have people in the community that have effectively moved over their Pagarex from their Pagarex account and sold on this exchange, converted, sold off to BTC and moved that BTC off this exchange. Is that me saying this exchange is safe to use? Hell no. But all of the exchanges that Pagarex is looking to get listed on are really, really I don't know. I've never heard of them. So they're big question marks. Okay. And the price action on this is really, really bad. It's basically like 20 to 30 cents this is selling at. It's still showing a value of $2.50 on the site. What it looks like is a lot of people are going to lose. This is true for any coin that goes off onto the exchanges. Usually there is a dump, okay? But the communities around those coins are usually much more active. So the amount of retracement we see once it gets listed on an exchange isn't that great. If this thing's already at 20, 30 cents, then it just looks like it's going to get worse from here, especially when they publicly announced that they've been listed on other exchanges. I don't know why this is on this exchange. I don't know if it was a fluke, if they were using this as a backdoor to offload some of their own, the developers, if this was just like a test, backup, I don't know. I don't know, but it works. You can sell off your Pagarex. You'll probably be losing your ass, but at least you'll get some money back. And I think that's where a lot of people are at with this lending stuff. Myself included, I've missed way too many golden windows to where I said, oh no, I'll just wait a little longer. I'll wait a little longer. And now I know better. And I've changed my own criteria and rules for how I pull out profits. So you better believe that I've got my buy orders all staggered in here, ready for 1,000 of my Pagarex, still sitting on another 6,000 or 7,000 that I got to get rid of. And I'll look to be doing that here as soon as I can. That way I can just close this loop. I want to be done with it. I don't believe in the platform. They've done a lot of things that just annoy me. And I think my nerves and my patience are finally at the end with all these other third-party platforms. And if I can say so, I think it's pretty far echoed in the community. People are just sick of it, man. They're just had enough. This is all fucking garbage. And so my patience is just out the window. And speaking of patience, I want to touch on this. I will not have the title in the headline. I won't dare use their name or their logo because that's part of their new rules. I find it interesting that they've gone through so much length here to talk about the new rules when all their community wanted, all we wanted, guys, let me just tell you right now, was for you guys to let us know what was going on, but you didn't. I've got my own theory on what happened, but what it looks like is now that we've got all this information on the mining and we've got this pool of 550,000 mining contracts and we're seeing the terahash rate. Well, what happened before, it looks like it was in fact not legitimate, and they've spun themselves legitimate off of the backs of the BTC Pack 1.0 holders, which people should be mad about this, okay? And you can't stop that from happening. Maybe if you would have done this differently, you wouldn't need a set of new 50 rules on what we can and can't say. I also understand that by me talking about this right now, I could lose my whole balance. You guys realize that? By me just talking about this right now and attempting to inform you guys and tell you where I'm at with the whole thing, I could lose my balance because they could very easily just, hey, you said a bad word, you used our name, you did this, you did that, and they can use this to now skirt their responsibility to repay us. The thing that I will challenge on this is that we gave you our money. You had a duty. If you attempt to skirt that duty by people like me making videos, I'm not saying anything bad. I'm not saying F you. I'd love to. I really would. Okay? Chased you guys around for 30 days to get a fucking interview, Mike, Ralph, and I got blanked. Okay? I'll set aside my opinions of how you guys run your business. It's definitely not how I would do it at all, actually. But again, you know, this is crypto. Anybody with 2 hands and 2 legs can fucking do an ICO. All right. So what I'm going to say though, is that I can guarantee I'm going to start hearing stories about people like me who are just shooting videos, weren't being derogatory at all, losing accounts. And I think that's wrong. We gave you our money. No matter how I feel about you now, you should give me back my money. That, you know what I mean? Like, that's not a TOS thing. The TOS thing was created out of your actions and what you decided to do. Case in point, this repayment plan. Let me summarize this whole thing. They're going to pay us all back slow as fuck. Slow as fuck. Okay. And maybe in a year or 2 or 3 years, you might actually get your money back. Or never, because who knows what new rule might come down the pipe that they'll come up with. You know what I'm saying? It's like, at this point, it's so ridiculous. I don't even know what to say. Okay. So here's your new packages that they've got. None of this existed before. So that tells me that they actually now are mining, and they never were mining before. So the mining packs that we all bought into with version 1.0, I don't know. Airy fairy dust? I don't know. Okay. So here is the breakdown. You see I've gotten, okay, this went up. Okay, this went up a little bit. I'm getting like $7 to $10 a day, basically, of money. This went up from 0.009 to now 1. So what did that just go up? I don't even know. A couple thousand Satoshi. Okay, they had a big payday here that they paid out 158 BTC. Now we're back to 10 and 11. That's good. I mean, I love the effort that they're putting in. I think they've overcomplicated this whole situation. I think they've worn out the welcome mat on blaming their affiliates. Because I'm seeing some of your buddies that were doing the same shit. You know, Lee was selling funnels. Okay. He didn't get slapped. His account didn't get closed down. You guys are still doing videos with him. He's like your main pumper that you guys have pushing out information. You know what I mean? So the thing I don't like is that if you're going to make a rule, make it a rule. Okay. So yes is yes, no is no. Not yes when it benefits us and no when it doesn't, or we don't like it this way. Like, no. Yes is yes, no is no. So if you're going to make rules, just make them apply now. Okay. Make that be the way it actually is, not just sometimes. Huge question marks still exist. What's going on with the tech tokens? What we're all seeing as investors is we're seeing hundreds of millions of dollars that was pumped into the USI Tech platform. And now the guys who help build your platform spin you legitimate and maybe even keep you out of jail for the whole Ponzi scheme, pyramid scheme, jail scenario. We helped get you out of that, possibly, with this new platform that now exists, that never existed before. And your thank you to us is that you're going to pay us back whenever the fuck you feel like it. That's what I don't like. Okay. And if you don't like what I'm saying and you shut my account down for it, go for it. I don't really care at this point. I've written it off at a loss. The remaining amount to be paid back went from 10 BTC to 5. You see, I've only pulled out 2 BTC during my whole time with USI Tech. I was a firm believer, didn't ask any questions, didn't really care. I felt my investment was safe. But obviously all that's changed. And I think I speak for a lot of people in the community. And it's being echoed through the BTC 2.0 packages, which by the way, will take about 2 years for you to make your money back. That is the dumbest investment I've ever heard of. Okay. I would never do that. Okay. That's how you've made it. I can't deny that. We started off at 555,000 packages, I think. So 20,000 packages, that's it, have sold out in about the last week. That's not that much to me when in comparison you look, there's over 1 million people in this platform. Okay, there's 10, 20,000 people coming in a day. And there's a lot of people with a lot of questions. And so we'll see what happens with my account. But, I was going to shoot a whole dedicated video and I was going to be much nastier and much more honest in it. But I'm not going to do that. And it's partially because they do have us all hamstrung. I now have to watch what I say for fear that I'm going to lose my account because they're dangling the carrot and letting us think that we're going to get paid back. Whether or not we do, I don't know. I really don't know, but I wouldn't put it past them based on their actions, based on their behavior now up until this point over these last 60 days. I wouldn't put it past them if they were actively looking for ways to get around this. A lot of people in our community, the math just isn't adding up, okay, in terms of the total packages that they had bought in and what they're claiming to get paid back. I'll give you an example. I had 1,349 packages, of which most of those were not even close to 50% paid back. Somehow this is the math. My history has all been wiped. I don't even know how am I supposed to file my 2018 taxes? Thank God I printed off and got all my data for 2017, but for 2018, I don't have that information. For people who haven't filed for 2017 yet, they no longer have that information because under our payment breakdown and this account balance record, all of that's been wiped. All of my history has been wiped. So I don't know what that means for you guys filing taxes. I think that's a pretty shitty move. Again, the whole concept here is that you guys are trying to make yourself more legitimate as a company, and you've removed a part that your guys, your investors, file their taxes and stay above board with the government. I'm not really understanding how that adds up, But again, that's just my opinion. Don't take that as fact. Everything that I just stated is my opinion. Take it for what it is. Make your own conclusions, whatever. But yeah, that's where that is, and that's my little rant on that. Further lesson learned for anybody involved in these platforms, you're seeing that the stress, the amount of anonymity, the lack of transparency, for most people, they've had enough. Maybe it's time to look into doing your own mining. Maybe it's time to change your criteria for how you look at cloud mining services. Lending platforms, whatever it is that you're into. But yeah, I wanted to give that update because there's literally thousands of people in our inner community that wanted an update like this. So to the YouTube channel, if you hated the last 5 minutes of what I just said, I apologize, but that's where we're at. Okay. And that's pretty much what's going on in the crypto sphere. Okay. If you want to get more and stay up to date on what's going on, just follow us on Twitter. That's where we're posting quite a bit. If this is the first time to the channel and you like what we're doing here, I would love for you to just take a second, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and share it with friends, family, email it around, show us some love. YouTube just made a big change affecting its publishers. We're one of those publishers, and our reach has been negatively affected. We need your help. We need the community's help now more than ever to help our videos spread around, help us retip the algos all over again, and get back on top of our exposure reaching thousands and tens of thousands of people versus right now it's reaching hundreds. I'd love your help on that. So just take a couple seconds, give us some love there, and be on the lookout because we'll be uploading more videos to the channel very soon.